They thought it was just an old, faded tattoo on a trembling arm, something to joke about, something to whisper over. But the moment a USMC captain froze mid-step and raised his hand in a sharp salute, every laugh died instantly. From which part of the country are you watching from today? Drop your city or state in the comments, United States. They laughed at first, not loudly, but enough for her to hear it. The kind of laughter that pretends to be harmless until it cuts deep, as the old woman sat quietly on the wooden bench near the parade ground, her posture straight despite the years weighing on her shoulders, her gray hair pulled back neatly, as if respect still mattered even when no one offered it back. She had been invited to the base that morning as a family guest. No rank, no title, just another elderly visitor watching a routine training demonstration, and when the sleeve of her blue sweater slid back, revealing the faded tattoo on her forearm, an old Marine Corps insignia marked by time and scars, the whispers began immediately, young Marines nudging each other, smirks spreading, one of them muttering that it looked fake, another saying maybe she got it for attention, a third joking that she probably stole it from her husband's service stories. And the old woman heard every word but didn't react, because she had learned long ago that dignity didn't need defending. The tattoo wasn't decorative, it was earned, burned into her skin in a different era, when proving yourself meant surviving things you never talked about again, and she folded her hands gently, as if shielding the past, until a sudden hush rippled through the group as a USMC captain approached, crisp uniform, confident stride, eyes scanning the area with the instinct of someone trained to notice what others miss. And that's when he saw it. The angle of the ink, the specific variation in the emblem, the barely visible serial marking incorporated into the design, something no imitation ever got right. And he stopped dead in his tracks, his face draining of color as memory slammed in him like recoil, because he had seen that tattoo before, not on posters or in museums, but in a classified briefing, in grainy photos attached to a unit citation few were ever allowed to read. The captain took 2 slow steps closer, his voice tight, as he asked her where she got it. And the old woman finally looked up, meeting his eyes with a calm that carried decades of weight, replying simply that it was given to her after her team came home with fewer names than they left with. And that was enough, because the captain's jaw clenched, his boots clicked together, and he raised his hand in a full, unmistakable Marine salute, sharp and unwavering, shocking everyone into silence. The young Marines froze, laughter evaporating into confusion then, dread, as the captain addressed her not as ma'am, but by a call sign none of them recognized, explaining that the tattoo marked membership in a covert Marine unit activated during a time when official records were intentionally erased, a unit that operated behind enemy lines, extracted down pilots, and destroyed targets no one was supposed to know existed, and the old woman was one of the last surviving members. Her role never publicly acknowledged because the mission itself was denied. The twist cut deeper when he added that the unit's actions had saved hundreds of Marines, including his own mentor, the officer who inspired him to join the Corps, and suddenly the mocking soldiers weren't just embarrassed. They were staring at a living legend they had reduced to a punchline minutes earlier. The captain ordered the formation to attention, recounting how that insignia was never issued, only earned after surviving an operation with a casualty rate so high it was later buried in classified archives, and, as the Marines stood rigid, shame creeping into their faces, the old woman tried to wave it off, saying it was a long time ago, that she didn't come for recognition, only to watch the new generation train, but the captain shook his head and said respect wasn't optional, especially not for someone who carried the Corps forward when it was most fragile. The final twist came quietly, when one of the laughing Marines stepped forward, voice cracking as he apologized, admitting his grandfather had died in the same conflict, and the old woman gently placed her hand on his shoulder, telling him that laughter often comes from not knowing the cost, and that now he knew. And, as the ceremony resumed, every Marine who passed her offered a nod, a salute, or a glance filled with awe, the bench beside her suddenly feeling less lonely, because sometimes history doesn't announce itself with medals or speeches. It sits silently, waiting to be recognized by those who still understand what honor looks like. I will make sure to subscribe to the channel.